watch and burn.
Hey guys, so I just wanted to make hopefully a very quick video discussing how I feel that modern vinyl is kind of overpriced, and I think that's probably due in fact to that they can get away with it because the word vinyl implies priciness to a degree, and that everything seems to be pressed on a 180 gram or heavier wax. And that's cool and everything. Like 180 gram records feel great. You know they're going to last. They sound amazing. And when you do spend the $50 to $100 per album, you do know where the money went. But at the same time, I mean, I grew up with like a lot of records from the 80s and the 90s that were printed on the post oil crisis 120, and I still have them, and they play great. They sound great. Sometimes the production's not the best, but that has less to do with the gram weight of the wax that they used and more to do with the fact that perhaps they weren't really that knowledgeable as to production techniques, right? I mean, sometimes it's the wax's fault. Sometimes it's really cheaply made. And I mean, I've bought records before, like at old shows that I used to go to from bands where like the grooves weren't quite right, and like the needle would like across it, and so the album would essentially just become something that I'd pin up on my wall with a thumbtack because you couldn't really listen to it, but it still looked cool. But yeah, I don't know. I found that modern vinyl, they charge too much. And I know that they'll argue that it's inflation and it's this and it's that. And inflation's a good reason. And the vinyl is worth more and the artwork is bigger and the sleeves are better produced and the whole package costs more than producing a CD. I get that. But they still grossly overcharge. I mean, I would prefer dropping in the gram weight and paying less, especially for records that are like from massive people like Taylor Swift, for example. Like I have a bunch of Taylor Swift's records and they're awesome, and like I have the picture disc for Reputation and that's totally worth it. But at the same time, I ended up paying like 75 bucks for that. Whereas had it been printed on 120 gram or less and it was just the standard black, could have paid 30, you know? And I found that when the vinyl resurgence started a few years back, vinyl for the most part was no more than $30, $35 a piece. But now that price has increased so substantially that I know a lot of people again will say inflation, but that only carries you so far. It just feels like they're gouging because everything's printed on 180 gram, or there's 10 colors worked in, or there's this and there's that. And it's cool and everything, but I would rather save the money and be able to buy more albums if they were printed cheaper and didn't go so crazy with the random colors and the splattering of this and the splattering of that and the incredible, like, the thickness of the sleeves. And I still have my Tiffany album from back when I was a kid, and it's the standard 1987, 1988 vinyl release from that era, and they're quick and they're cheap, and it still sounds amazing to this day, so there's no reason for vinyl to cost as much as it does. I know they put a lot of effort in, they remaster, and they dig through the crates and the vaults in order to find alternate tracks, especially from movie scores and things like that, and they get specific people to write intros that are, you know, printed on the inserts, and they get artists to reimagine everything, and I respect what they do, but something says they're just overcharging, and there's no way that I'm the only person that feels this way, and that's why I felt like making this video. But yeah, look, I'm going to leave it here. It's pushing a little over 4 minutes. Personally, I love the 180 gram plus thing when it comes to vinyl. When I buy a record, I love the weight. I love how it feels. I love the quality. But personally, I would really be willing to take a hit in the quality department and go back to how things were when I was a little kid to be able to buy more of them at one time. So, yeah. So thank you so much for sitting with me while I discussed how vinyl is kind of overpriced now, whether or not it deservedly so. It's a matter of opinion, I suppose, and inflation. But yeah, I'm going to go. So thank you so much for sitting with me. Have a good night. I just wanted to say thank you for making it through the entire video. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to remind everyone one more time, even though I've probably already done this in the video that you just watched, to please click the like button as well as the subscribe button because it helps this channel grow. And thank you for hitting like and subscribe. and we will see you guys really soon.